So while we're waiting on dinner to cook here, obviously some things have happened. Truck is back in operational, as you can tell. It's been a long time and it's been up and running for about a year now. Just haven't trusted it enough to take it somewhere remote and take it camping. This is its first outing since the computer chip broke, the TCM broke, and I still don't even have an OEM TCM. So this is a completely new system. We also are bringing along little puppy dog MJ down here. He's never gone camping, so this is his first outing as well. MJ. So before I lose all of my sunlight, I wanted to go through what's happened with the truck and where everything is and what's happened. Dinner was super good. I only could eat one of the burgers. They were pretty big and really good. I want to save some room for breakfast tomorrow. So the story of the truck. Um, as you can see, it's alive. It's well. It's up and running, which is all I could ask for at the moment. But I've got a piece of paper with all the events that have happened with this thing, with the computer chip. And it's a long list, so I had to write down the date so I didn't forget. So truck breakdown timeline. So October 2nd of 2022, the truck broke down on me. I was at college. I was on campus at Utah State in Logan, Utah, and was just driving back to my apartment. Everything had been totally normal. I had actually just come back from a little weekend getaway down in Provo. Went and camped and stayed the night. Saw a couple friends that I knew down there that were going to school as well. And we went to a BYU football game while we were down there. And anyways, it was really fun. It was BYU versus Utah State. Unfortunately, Utah State really sucked, but that's besides the point. That was 2 years ago. So October 2nd, 2022, the truck broke down. I was on campus. I was at a red light, and it just, all of a sudden, a bunch of lights came on the dashboard, and the little indicator of what gear I was in, like park neutral, reverse drive, all that kind of stuff just went away. So it said service traction control, check engine light came on. Anyways, I have a whole bunch more information on this when it happened fresh. If you want to go check out that video, I will link it down below as well. October 12th, I towed it to Murdoch GMC, the local GMC dealer down there in Logan, and I had a friend just pull me with his pickup. We just put a tow strap on it. It was like a mile down the road from my apartment. I ended up milking my truck back to my apartment on October 2nd. Luckily, I was at the top of a hill and just kind of coasted down the hill. So it worked out. It sucked, but it worked out. October 2nd, we got it to the dealership. The dealership told me, yes, the TCM transmission control module had burnt up. It was going to need to be replaced. They were, I think it was like $1,200 or something like that. $1,200 or $2,000, I can't remember exactly, but they were about $1,000+ for a replacement, and they were between 3 and 6 months out on getting one. And so I have a pretty good relationship with the dealership up where I normally live when I wasn't going to school. I called this other dealership, told them what the issues were, said this is what I was quoted, this is what they said the problem was, how soon can you guys get one, seeing if they could get one any faster, and they said, yeah, we could probably get one between 2 and 3 months, or 3 to 5, somewhere in there, a little bit sooner, and it was going to be like $700. It's like, okay, not a huge cost difference, whatever, I just want it done quick. And so on October 22nd, 2022, and I'm going to put a list of all these events up here so it's easy to keep straight. On October 22nd, 2022, my dad came down in a gooseneck, and we loaded up the truck on the trailer. He drove it up to Idaho Falls. We went from Idaho Falls to Rigby, where the dealership is that I was going to have do the work. Once we got the truck up to the dealership, it was all of a sudden these lead times just kept getting longer and longer and longer and longer, and they said this chip isn't being made. We're waiting on General Motors to make more, or Allison to make more computer chips. I thought, oh shit, whatever. We're like, yeah, you cannot drive the truck without a transmission control module. It doesn't think what gear to go into, when to shift in these gears. I was reading immediately after it happened, jumped on like Reddit and these forums, and it's a very common issue with this era of truck, this generation of truck. Some of the comments were, yeah, the truck shifted, all by itself while driving down the freeway, ruining the transmission, all these horror stories. And so I thought, whatever, it's not worth driving or trying to drive. It's not worth driving or attempting to drive and possibly ruining it and needing a whole new transmission. That's just not worth it. The truck has had 55,000 miles on it or something like that. Anyways, it wasn't worth it. So I just left it at the dealership. Thankfully, I have a good family friend that he lent me a car while I was down at school, because obviously I needed to get around. My twin brother was going to school with me as well, so I used his car a little bit every now and again. October 2022, trucks is just sitting at the dealership. Every ETA I'm getting told, I don't believe, because they just keep changing. There's literally no one making them. There's people selling there's used ones on eBay for like $3,000, and who the hell knows if it even works. All this stuff going on. 3 or 4 months. So we're in the beginning of 2023. My dad and I found a company that takes these chips, these TCM chips that fry like this, and they gut them, repair them, send them back. They're kind of a plug and play unit. They basically refurbish them so that they're workable again. It had been a couple months since the truck had broken down, so we're like, whatever, this is right now our only option. GM isn't making this part. They've discontinued it. They have no intention of remaking said part. We send the chip off from this down to a company in Texas. They leave the guts in it, but just try to fix what's wrong with it. Send it back to us. We plug it in. Doesn't work. Nothing changes. So we send it back to the company in Texas. They this time gut the system, put in a whole new system, motherboard, whatever computer chip parts are in there. I've never seen the inside of one, so I don't know what exactly is all in there, but I'm assuming just a big computer chip. Well, it comes back the second time. still doesn't work. There's no change. So this company in Texas was awesome. I will put their information somewhere on here. They were great to work with. I have heard that they do have majority of the time a success rate, like a good story of they got it and it works. Unfortunately, mine was not. And the more and more I read on these forums and joined these online groups, it appeared that that's quite common, and it's kind of hit or miss as to whether or not yours is going to work after being repaired or if it's going to need a whole new chip. Anyways, mine ended up not working, so back to square one. We're at the beginning stages of 2023 now. Summer of 2023, I think it was around June. Yep, June 9th. We order a conversion kit from a company called ATS, based out of Colorado. We order a conversion kit. They have spent the whole time since GM discontinued this part to create a conversion kit that goes from the receiver of the chip on this truck to the chip of a 2023 Duramax. They are doing pre-orders. We end up ordering one, getting in line. We were pretty high up online. We weren't first, but we were in there like second or third production run. We ended up getting ours. The chip shows up July 26th, so it takes over a month, about a month and a half almost. No, spot on to a month and a half for this chip to show up, which at this point, a month and a half seems like nothing. We had been down October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So we're down 10 months at this point. August 1st, just shy of a complete year, we drive the truck home. The ATS was awesome. They sent the whole kit has instructions. You can do it at home. I had the dealership do it because I trust those guys, and there was an option where if you have a scan tool, you can. It makes the process a lot easier. You can do it from home. There's a lot more kind of. There's just more of a process to it. So anyways, the dealership did it. They did an awesome job. It worked great. Drove it home August 1st. So excited. Fast forward about a month after getting it fixed, and I didn't trust the truck. I didn't drive it anywhere outside of Idaho Falls and surrounding area. I didn't go camping. I didn't go hauling any trailers. I didn't do anything for the truck that was going to strain it or be hard on the motor or this chip. I didn't trust it. I trust ATS and the product they make, but I don't trust the truck. I didn't want to get somewhere camping and have no cell service and have to call someone to come try to get me out of here in some hard to get to spot, and it'll need a winch. And anyways, it was just, I didn't trust it. It wasn't worth it to me. So we fast forward a month, September 4th, warning lights come on. It's the same warning lights as before, but the truck still runs. I was actually heading to a wedding. It was the day of my friend's, my college roommate's wedding, and we were going to get the venue all set up, get everything ready, some flowers cut, and on my way there, all these warning lights popped on. So I immediately called the guys at ATS. I'll put both of their names up as well. There was a girl and a guy I talked to. Both of them were amazing, very friendly, very quick to respond. Highly cannot recommend the guys at ATS enough. So immediately get on the phone with one of them. They say just double check all the connections, make sure nothing's wiggled loose. Just kind of go through and look at it. If something is wrong, please let us know. We'll get it fixed, pretty much. Well, like I said, the truck was running. Like it still was driving and shifting. It just had these warning lights of service traction control, and then the traction control light would just flicker. And so I get to this venue and hop out, pop the hood, and just one of the connections had wiggled loose. So I grabbed a zip tie I had in the back of my truck. I zip tied this connection together after pushing it tight, just to make sure it doesn't wiggle loose again. Great, it works, fixed, no big deal. Stuff comes loose, whatever, not a big deal. So fast forward 5 days, the wedding has happened. The zip tie worked great. Truck was running good. Still didn't trust it to go camping. I ended up having to haul a trailer for work. I was going down to Pocatello, Idaho, and hauling probably 5,000 or 6,000 pounds. Wasn't super heavy. Nothing for a Duramax pickup. I didn't think anything of it. So 5,000 to 6,000 pounds, couple thousand-pound trailer, you're talking less than 10,000 pounds. A half ton is rated for more than that, so I didn't think anything of it. Well, I get probably a quarter of the way down to Pocatello, and a check engine light pops on with the new engine code. It starts shifting super rough, idling rough. Things are going south. And I'm on the freeway with a trailer and material. So I end up turning around. I milk the truck back to Idaho Falls very slowly with hazards on down the freeway, max about 50 miles an hour, and it just continuously is shifting on its own. It's not shifting out of drive, but it's shifting gears kind of sporadically. It's revving really bad. It was bad. Milked back to Idaho Falls, shut it off. I ended up taking one of our work trucks, whatever. Had to get to work, so no time to think about it. I ended up finding out that this is kind of one of their issues that they had found after releasing it and having a bunch of these trucks hooked up to their new adapter system is this code. It was a P150C code, but it was a miscommunication of an extremely short amount of time between the transmission and the drive. It was something, is the speed wasn't being relayed correctly. The speed the truck was going and the speed it thought it was going were not matching up. Whatever, get with the guys and girls at ATS. Again, they were super helpful, explaining, this is a common hurdle we're going through. Your truck should be fine to drive. It should run and drive normal. If the issue keeps persisting, don't drive it. We'll fix it, whatever. With the stereo system I put in a digital screen that runs CarPlay and all that stuff. And on there, one of the features of it is it tells me what code, if there is a check engine light, it tells me what code the check engine light is referring to. So anyways, we end up resetting it. It never comes back on. Truck runs and drives great again. Every now and again, I do have some weird service traction control. The traction control light pops on, and then it says service StabiliTrak. That's part of this P150C problem. It just sporadically happens out of the blue. The truck doesn't like lock up. It doesn't do anything. It still drives. It just, this warning light just randomly pops up. So whatever, there really is no other option. It's either drive it, get this random ass code every now and again, or don't drive it, and who the hell knows when you're going to get it completely fixed. The guys at ATS were saying they're working on it. They're trying to create like an update or like a new piggyback system that'll work better. Fast forward about 4 more months, we get to December 5th. ATS comes out with a new translator that communicates from the receiver of the chip on this truck to the chip of a 2023. Their new, it's their piggyback system. It's a new one that's supposed to get rid of this P150 or P150C code, get rid of this weird StabiliTrak errors, kind of fix everything. Awesome, great, it's fantastic. Get one ordered. It's about $600. And that's just a fee that they charge for them to ship this new chip, and then you return the old one. They're going to fix it and then send it out to someone else. So you end up getting the $600 back once the chip gets received from them, the return chip. So whatever, great. December 5th, that chip was ordered, cost about $600. About a week, little over a week later, 12 days later, December 17th, the new chip was installed. I did that in the garage. It was super, super easy. Couple bolts, take it off. You pop off their piggyback system, pop on this new one. Truck runs and drives great. They did say there's going to be a few hard shifts as it relearns itself. Whatever, no big deal. You go through every year. It relearns its shift pattern. Everything runs great. The next day, we send the return chip back to ATS, and we get a refund within, a week or whatever it takes for UPS or FedEx to get it back to them. And truck runs and drives great. Since then, since December 18th of last year, December 17th of last year, when this new chip was installed, haven't had a single warning light. No issues, no nothing. Right after we installed it, there were those few hard shifts, but them communicating that, didn't think anything of it. There's been no issues. I've towed trailers with it. I've done this is the first camping overlanding trip with it, but there's been no errors, no check engine lights, no nothing. So starting to do some of these trips, regaining some trust in the truck. It still runs and drives amazing. I think GM is actually making this chip again after so many threats of a lawsuit and a lawsuit group building some good momentum. They ended up making a new chip for this, so there are options now. You can either buy this piggyback system from ATS that was, I don't know what it is now, but when I bought it, it was right around $3,000. But it works, and it works really good, and it uses the computer chip off of a 2023 truck, so if for whatever reason that fails, that's easier to get now. The shift points are a lot better. It gets a little bit better fuel mileage than what it did beforehand based on it or with its original chip. Hopefully I'm going to be doing more and more of these overlanding trips to gain trust back in the truck and get out more and more back to what I bought and built the whole truck to do. The only changes besides the computer chip that have happened to the truck are new shocks. I put Bilstein shocks on there. I did them myself, and it was great. They are a little bit firm, but they're a lot nicer than what was on there. The truck only has 60,000 miles. It just rolled to 60 a couple days ago. So it still has a lot of life in it. It still is a great truck. I'm really hoping this ATS thing lasts a long time, a little over 6 months with their new update, and it's ran and drive great. So I can't recommend the guys and girls at ATS enough. They've been awesome. Truck's back. MJ's on his first camping trip. Hope to start making a whole bunch of more videos. I'm going to go sit by the fire, kind of relax before going to bed.
So, for it being MJ's first camp outing, he did pretty well. He was a little anxious once he got up into the tent of what the hell are we doing up here, but once he got settled in and familiarized, he did just fine. I'm gonna eat my biscuits and gravy and then hit the road.